You have African Perspective with anchor Aldrin Sampear. Aldrin, very good evening to you. Tonight you're talking Bobi Wine and also the doctor strike in Zimbabwe.
Well, certainly. The doctor strike has been ongoing. Remember that the doctors have been complaining in Zimbabwe around the health system that has totally collapsed. Yeah. A number of people actually giving birth in homesteads instead of being in hospitals. Yeah. Some reports indicating that some people even giving birth on the floors of some hospitals. That is not hygienic at all. And yesterday you had the doctors who were marching to Parliament. Yesterday they staged a peaceful march. We'll be focusing on that. But the big one will be the interview that we have with Bobi Wine, Ugandan parliamentarian as well as politician. Is he the man who will take over from Museveni, who has been in power since 1986? Certainly he believes so. And what's interesting for me about him is that he is 37 years old. Yeah. So at the time that Museveni became president of Uganda, he was only 4 years old. So the only president that he has known, certainly since cognitive function was working, was Museveni. And would Museveni be the person who gets defeated by Bobi Wine? I wonder whether that will happen in Uganda. But quite something else that we'll be focusing on as well on the continent when it comes to youth politicians.
Yes.
You've seen what has happened with the
South
EFF.
Africa,
exactly,
yes.
Exactly. You've seen what has happened with Julius Malema leading the EFF, but also what has happened in Zimbabwe. As we focus on the Zimbabwe doctor strike, you have the opposition there in Zimbabwe as well, being led by a young person, Nelson Chamisa. But the thing that I find quite interesting is that these young people have a following, but it almost seems as though that the following don't really translate into votes, and I wonder where the disconnect is.
What happens when those young people step aside? Is this more about personality politics? Do these political parties survive after they have left? Aldrin, we look forward to that discussion at 9 o'clock coming up here on the channel, of course. Aldrin Sampear, host of African Perspective. Let's take a recap now of